Welcome to Brain Wreck. I'm Jason
That
F.
was weird. What happened? I'm Kevin Graham.
And hey, of course, you know this is the goddamn best show on
We're
the
the
internet.
best show on the internet. I think we're a little loud tonight, but we're both coming in at the same level, so it's okay.
Okay, well
Yeah,
let
so
us know
you
in
at
the
home
chat
can
if
turn
we're,
down your speakers. Sometimes, the technical aspects of this show also rely on viewers like you.
Oh, a little
Yeah.
PBS.
Little
Okay,
PBS.
all
Yeah,
right.
we are basically the PBS of YouTube. We rely on the support of viewers like you to
That's
maybe
true.
turn down your speakers when we're too loud, or turn them up when we're too soft, and then maybe sometimes turn them back and forth when like one mic's a little bit too loud, the other mic's a little bit too soft, and I'm over here and I'm like, I don't know, everything is coming in on my end as the same, all the dials are marked as the same, all the
Chris
volume
feels
here
assaulted.
is the same. That is correct. Immediately was assaulted by sound. Let's turn it down a little bit.
Sounds like a Simon and Garfunkel song.
Assaulted by sound.
Yeah,
It's like the follow-up to The Sound of Silence.
that's right. It's
Yeah.
it's the opposite.
What if The Sound of Silence was the prelude to Assaulted by Sound, and then it's like
Okay.
Simon and Garfunkel's like metal phase, and it's just like
Oh, kind of like Chet Haynes
Chet Haynes,
or what's his name?
Chris Gaines?
Garth. Yeah, Chris Gaines. There it is.
That was like Garth's.
I was thinking of Tom Hanks' son.
Chet Chet Hanks. No, that would have been Garth Brooks's Rasta phase. If he went in that direction. But Chris,
Yeah,
let us know
man.
how we are in the sound. Give us like a thumbs up, thumbs down if the dulcet tones are,
If you're feeling
if you're
good.
feeling good, if your ears feel good, let us know. Yeah,
That's
let
very
us know.
important.
I'm very bright too for some reason.
Good Lord, you're a mess.
I am a mess. Like everything was fine a week ago. I don't know what happened all of a sudden. That's a little bit better.
You know, a week's a long time. A lot of
week
things
is a
can
long
happen in a
time.
week.
A lot happens in a week. A lot happens in a day. A lot happens in a year.
You know,
You are even.
you are even.
Thank you. I mean,
Okay.
we are. We do look at ourselves as
I
equals.
mean, we're all equals.
Yeah, we're all equals.
Yeah. Everyone. Yeah, we enjoy everybody's company here.
Yeah, we're all just
So
walking around this earth that was put here by the
spinning in space.
aliens.
Listen,
Just trying to figure
folks,
it out.
in about 15 billion years, the Earth is going to explode, and we're all going to be space dust. So live a little.
But there's going to be one computer that's just going to be running. And you know what they're going to be running?
What's that?
This show.
On a loop?
Yeah, in a loop.
Oh, that's it.
I feel like we are
What
doing a
if
public
this show?
service.
What if this show becomes the only record of humanity at one time?
I hope. Like that is my goal. Like that is my end goal with this show is that like this is like when the shit goes down and everybody's like huddled up around like a little screen. It's just us. It's just us doing this.
We're everyone's buddy.
We're everyone's buddy, yeah. And they're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I wish I could meet these guys. They seem cool.
Yeah.
But like we're just out floating in space as like, dust memories.
Johnny Carson who?
Yeah, fuck Johnny Carson. Who'd he ever beat?
He killed the DeLorean.
He killed
So-
he killed the guy that made the DeLorean?
I mean, no, he didn't kill Mr. DeLorean.
John
He owned a lot of stock
DeLorean?
in that company.
Johnny Carson killed the guy, John DeLorean. Oh my god. Carson DeLorean? Is Johnny Carson the son of John DeLorean, and he got into a DeLorean, went back into time, and killed his own father?
I don't think that happened.
But what if it did?
I mean, it might have. Johnny Carson owned so much stock in DeLorean, he lost his ass.
That did he?
Yeah.
I've never heard
That's-
this.
that is a fact.
I've never heard this story before.
He owned like 8 of them.
So he was going back into time.
Maybe.
going forward into time as well.
Because when I went to the guy's house that owned all the Back to the Future stuff,
Right.
so he had 3 collections going on. He had Back to the Future, which was massive.
Right.
He had Johnny Carson, but he also had Steve McQueen too, which was an odd pull. I'm like, okay, Back to the Future, I get.
Some people are into McQueen.
Johnny Carson, and then he had a whole thing about the connection between Johnny Carson and the DeLorean, and then
by the way,
Steve McQueen.
The guy who started DeLorean, his name was John DeLorean.
Oh yeah, I know. I didn't think you were bullshitting.
Oh, I
thought you knew.
I do now. I may have known, but just forgot. I don't know, man. The 80s were weird. But no, Johnny Carson definitely went back into time and maybe murdered his father.
Why is he gonna murder
John
things?
DeLorean? Well, wasn't the guy murdered?
Oh, I don't know.
Wait, what happened? Wait, okay, that's
the museum I went to was a happy museum. Okay, they didn't talk about the terrible things.
John DeLorean,
except for the fucking size of.
Is
DeLorean
he still alive?
No.
No. This guy's dead.
No.
He died like 15 years ago. How did he die? He died when he was 80. He murdered an 80-year-old.
Being murdered by Johnny Carson's ghost.
No, he had a stroke.
That's how he died. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Way to bring the show down, Kevin.
But what if it wasn't a stroke?
I mean,
what if?
Do you ever see the movie Pi?
No.
Okay, it's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
And it's about time travel, and you'll watch the movie Pi.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, I don't understand it.
Okay.
And then you have to watch it again, and then you're like, okay, I kind of understand it. And then by the 3rd time that you watch the movie, you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Isn't Pi a Nolan movie? Christopher Nolan? Isn't that like an early Chris Nolan?
I mean,
no, that's Aronofsky. That's Darren Aronofsky. That's one of his early ones.
It was always on Showtime.
Oh, really?
When I was a kid, so like I just watch Pi all the time.
That's a weird thing to say. That's a weird, because like I remember being around that age and being like, there's a movie called Pi that does not at all look interesting to me. Therefore,
no, it's not.
Therefore, I mean, like Aronofsky is a great director. I like his work.
It's not worth the 3 viewing times that it takes to understand what's happening in the movie.
Did you watch it 3 times because the first 2 times you were like, I feel like there's something more to this. I need to figure it out. Or you just happened. Oh, okay, so you were on a quest.
And plus, it was on every day. It was on every day during summer vacation.
That was
when I was eating my breakfast, I'd watch Pi.
When I was eating my breakfast on summer vacation, I was watching Austin Powers and The Spy Who Shagged Me.
I could see that.
I watched that movie every day over the course of one summer vacation. That's how I spent.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's how I spent my Tiny Toons. How I spent my summer vacation.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, Fenton.
Patrick Fenton, how are we doing tonight?
In the house, just in time.
Yeah.
Because we're talking movies.
We are talking movies. Patrick, did you know that Johnny Carson went back into time to kill John DeLorean?
Allegedly. I
mean, they're all dead. What if
Write your own history. The fuck does it matter?
I'm pretty sure that is like I think something like that would fall under like, it's so absurd nobody can believe that. Therefore, it's like not slander or libel or defamation.
So it falls under parody, is what you're saying.
I mean, this show is a parody. I mean, let's be honest. like we are just a parody of life and ourselves. None of this is real. This is all made up. This is actually all artificially generated.
I mean, some of it is.
The last 5 minutes will be for sure.
Guaranteed.
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 Oh my god. Okay, but we've got a goal tonight.
We have a show to do.
We do have a show.
Guys.
Yeah, we have like a whole show. We got to start over. We
should plan a show.
Yeah, Patrick didn't know that, by the way. I was just giving him knowledge.
Oh.
Yeah,
Facts.
but are you aware that this Sunday? I think it's Sunday. that the Oscars, the Academy Awards, are back, baby.
Is somebody gonna smack somebody
I
again?
hope so. Like, honestly, listen, this is like the 95th one that they've done.
Is it really?
Dude, yeah. It's like the 95th Academy Award. And I'm out like, you've done 95 of these, and who gives a shit anymore?
Who cares?
Who cares? It is a jerk-off fest.
Mm-hmm.
It is just a bunch of, like, just a whole bunch of Barry Horowitz just patting each other on the back.
Exactly. I haven't got a T-shirt.
Just drag, and they never give awards to the best movies. I mean, sometimes they do. Sometimes, every now and then they do. Maybe this year they will. But like most of the time, it's like some fucking movie about a bunch of people like out in the middle of nowhere, just talking. I'm like, at least put them in a convenience store if you're gonna do that. You know?
Exactly. You know, there was a time when I was really considering going into the movie business, and I was thinking to myself, like, oh man, like, and like I got the bug a little bit, and I'm like, okay, you know, I need to kind of immerse myself into the industry if that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, Academy Awards are coming up. I'm going to watch every movie that's being nominated for Best Picture.
Okay.
So that I know what's going on when I was, know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I'm like, all these movies are awful. They're all terrible.
I feel like it's gotten a little bit better because, okay, so here are the best movies listed for this year.
Okay.
You've got Top Gun Maverick, which I saw, which I could tell you, that was a fun movie. That does not deserve an Academy Award for Best Picture. You've got Women Talking, which, hey, you know what? It's 2023. It's about time.
About time.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Yes, I agree with this.
Sounds like my life.
It is.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. The bands.
Because I was young and dumb, Fenton. That's why. That's fine.
The Banshees of I don't know how to say that. It's the fucking movie with Colin Farrell and that other guy. The Triangle of Sadness, which is a movie I only just learned about yesterday, and I don't know what the fuck it is.
Does not sound like a good time.
It does not sound like a good time. You've got The Fabelmans, which is a movie by Steven Spielberg, basically about Steven Spielberg. All Quiet on the Western Front, which it's a World War II movie. You've seen it before. Avatar, The Way of Water. I feel like that's a participation nomination.
Sure, that's a money nomination.
Elvis. I didn't know anybody that liked that movie. And then Tar. Tar?
Is it a pirate movie?
No.
I've seen exactly none of those.
You've seen none of those. Wait a second, Patrick Fenton in the chat. Speaking of women, did we thank the women in our lives? It's National Women's Day today.
It is.
We do. Oh my God. Thank you, ladies.
Look at you, Fenton. Look at you on top of things. Yes, thank you to all the wonderful ladies, especially the two that help run this particular channel.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blakely and Christy. Happy National Women's Day.
I love you.
Yeah.
Sport women. But yeah, these movies, I've seen Top Gun Maverick. I've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. That one deserves a nomination for sure. Top Gun, no. I don't care if you like. Like this is one of those areas where like I'm always torn because like I see a movie like The Avengers and I'm like that movie deserves an award, like a prestigious award, not just like best sound design or like best visual effects. Like if you make a movie that I am willing to pay up to 5 times to go see in theaters, you deserve at least a Best Picture nomination.
Yeah, give him a trophy.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick. It was fun. It made all the money in the world, literally. But like, No. The first one was better.
Okay.
The first one is, and I'm not doing the original is better. No, like the first one was just a better movie. The first one was just a better movie. This was fun.
Wow.
This was a good 2 hours out of my house with a bowl of popcorn. Although it wasn't the best because we went to a Regal and the theater sucked.
Oh yeah, Regals are not.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Not known for being great.
Like the seat was broken, the sound sucked. Banshees was the first movie you saw in theaters since Cats. Matthew, Scooter. What did you think? Do you think that movie deserved the Best Picture nomination? Because
Cats?
Well, Cats for sure. Anybody that makes a movie that fucking bonkers deserves a nomination at the very least. Watch Cats.
I still have not seen it.
You need to watch it. You need to get cozy. You need to get in the right mindset. You need to get good lighting in the room.
Okay.
And then just snuggle up and buckle the fuck up because you are going to go on a ride. He says, absolutely, but he loved everything the director has made. What else has this guy made? Has he done anything that I've seen? Martin McDonough.
Well, let me ask you this.
Oh, this guy did In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths. Okay.
Clerks 3.
It's probably
from Fenton.
It's probably a good movie then. I would say, yeah. Okay. I'd be willing to watch that then.
So how many new movies have you seen this year?
Not as many as I thought.
Not as many as you thought. Okay.
Well, not as many as I thought, but more than I thought. If that makes sense. When I actually, because like, okay, what we're about to do is, the Academy goes through and they give all their awards out to like all these movies, blah, 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 blah. We came up with a list of awards that we're going to give out this year.
That's right.
But we're going to be giving movies to the movies that we've seen over the past year.
That's right.
Not necessarily new movies.
No, but we've seen them.
But movies that we definitely watched and we think deserves awards.
Oh, of course.
And in preparation for this, as I'm sure you did too, I went through and I listed out every single movie that I could remember that I saw over the past 12 months.
So did I.
The list was smaller than I thought because as I was thinking about it, I was like, oh man, there's got to be so many movies. How do you remember them all? And then I started writing them. And then I was like, I'm done. Wait, how are there this many? Like, I figured there would have been way more. And then I'm like, how have I not watched this movie? The last 12 months.
Yes. Well, I did from the beginning of 2022. So I went back to January 2022.
Okay.
And then to current. That's what I did.
Okay. I went from March.
I don't know exactly when all these fucking movies came out.
That's
but, like,
fair.
We're close enough.
That's fair. Close enough. Yeah. So,
right.
Give or take a month or two, Patrick. But like going through, I was like, oh man, like I'm surprised I didn't watch this movie. I would have thought I watched this movie, but no. And then like I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, I didn't go to the theater as much as I thought I did.
The only time I ever went to the theater was the drive-in. That's the only theater I went.
And you can knock out a couple movies in that run.
It's double feature.
Double feature. I will say, and I don't know how big your list is, but I have watched at least 60 movies over the last 12 months.
Oh, I'm not even close.
Not even close?
Not even close to that.
Smaller?
I'm maybe 30.
Maybe 30?
I'm so busy.
I think I averaged maybe like 1.5 movies a week, maybe a little less, maybe like 1.2 movie a week.
How do you have the time? I don't understand.
I don't, which is weird.
That's the thing. We're always coming. We're always going. Like, honestly, the main time of watching movies and the majority of the movies on my list were either Halloween movies or Christmas movies.
Dude, okay, so a lot of these movies, Christy and I would have watched end of last year, early this year. Actually, there's a lot of movies that like we just watched.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, and like obviously there's like the summer box office, but there really weren't a lot of big movies that came out last year that we went and saw.
Yeah, I was like, so I broke my list down by movies that actually came out in 2022 that I watched in 2022.
Oh, so
and
wait.
then I made
Okay.
and then I made a list of movies that are older movies that I watched in 2022. And I watched only 5 new current movies in 2022 when they came out. That's it. And I'll just tell you what they were.
Okay.
I saw the Uncharted movie.
I saw
when it
that
came
too.
out.
I also forgot that movie came out last year.
Right?
It's been a year.
The Batman. I saw the
I saw the
Batman.
Batman. Okay, so we got those two.
I saw Hocus Pocus 2.
I didn't put that on my list. I saw Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah. I saw Turning Red, the Pixar movie.
Did not see Turning Red.
And then the last movie I saw that came out in 2022 that I saw in 22 was the Mickey Mouse documentary.
Did not watch that either.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I saw.
So 2022 movies for me. There was A Christmas Story, The Adam Project, Ambulance, Amsterdam, The Batman, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, the Bob's Burger movie, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Oh, I had that one too. I didn't put that on the right list.
Clerks 3, Day Shift, Death on the Nile, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Glass Onion, Hocus Pocus 2, Lightyear.
I didn't see Lightyear.
Top Gun
My
Maverick.
kids did. I didn't.
What's up?
Said my kids saw Lightyear. I didn't see Lightyear.
It's not right.
Yeah,
Top Gun
the wife
Maverick,
hated it.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Thor, Love and Thunder, Violent Night, Spirited, Weird, The Al Yankovic Story, See How They Run, Uncharted, Sonic 2, and The Gray Man.
You watched a lot of fucking movies, man.
Those were the new movies that I watched. And then there's like a whole bunch of, there's a decent amount of old movies, which make up most of my awards.
So what you proposed was that we take some of the characters or some of the categories. We take some of the categories of the Academy Awards.
Yes.
And we just apply it
to what
the
we
list
watched.
of movies
Yeah.
that we watched.
And so the awards that we're going to be going over, we've got, and then like some of these are kind of tweaked a little bit. You've got Best Story, Best Screenplay. That's one. Best Animated Picture. Best Costumes. Because, who doesn't love a movie with good costumes?
I got the wife's input on that one. Just
nice,
so you know.
nice. Best Score / Soundtrack. And then one that I added, Best Use of a Song.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That one was hard for me.
I knew right off.
Oh,
the bat what I
really?
was picking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best Director. Best Performance, Male or Female, Supporting. Best Performance, Male or Female Lead. And then Best Picture.
Okay. So let's start. Let's start at the bottom.
Let's start at the bottom. So
and work our way up.
Best Story Screenplay.
That's right.
Would you like to kick things off?
I will kick. This one was easy.
Okay.
For me. There are a few categories where I hemmed and hawed a lot. But there was one particular movie that I saw last year that I've never seen anything like it.
Really?
It blew me away.
Okay.
And of course, I'm a little late to the dance on seeing this movie. So my pick for the 2022 best screenplay / story
Can't wait.
is Pain and Gain.
Yes! Yes!
Mm-hmm.
Yes! I think I watched that last year too.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, I should have put that on there.
It
I couldn't
fucking
remember.
remarkable story.
I couldn't
and
remember
movie.
if I made Christy watch that with me last year or like the year before. Some of it blurs together. But yeah, that movie, that top 10 favorite movie.
It's so ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. It's so dumb. It's so over the top. Like that is a me movie through and through. I applaud you for going with that.
Thank you.
I applaud
Thank
you for
you.
that. I applaud you for that. Me myself, I chose Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
Okay. All right.
It was exactly what I had hoped for. And I'm just incredibly impressed that they took all of those true events and found a way to put them in like a 90-minute narrative.
Okay.
Remarkable. It was tremendous. It was a lot of fun. But realistically, like
Because Fenton, we don't have all. We this is an hour show. That's why we couldn't get Suddenly Steve involved. The man watches a movie a day.
Literally
okay?
a day. Yeah. I used to, like, there was one year where I tried to do that. And like I watched well over 100 movies that year, but
It's so insane.
And like I did write them down, but I got to a point where I was just like I can't commit. I can't commit to it. But Weird was fun. It was very much in the vein of your UHF. It was like I enjoyed that it didn't take itself seriously. That anybody who might legitimately think that it's a serious biopic movie, especially with like all the other biopics that just came out, and the fact that like he dropped it on Roku and was just like, yeah, like if you don't have Roku or can't get it, just download it. Like,
Right. Yeah.
the whole thing about it just was fantastic. Highly recommended if you haven't checked it out. But yeah, for me, best story screenplay.
All right. Okay. I still haven't seen it, so I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah. Okay, so next, best animated picture. And now this is.
go
ahead.
I went first last time, so you go first.
This is one where I was a little bit torn.
Okay.
And because I was like, how do you define these days? How do you how do you define an animated picture? Like, does it need to be fully animated?
See, I struggle with that as well.
Because there was one movie that I immediately thought of, but then like I hemmed and hawed, and I was like, you know what? No, because it's not a fully animated movie.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not gonna go with it.
I said the same thing too, so we're on the same page here.
Okay. But
page.
for me, best animated picture for 2022, for the 2022-2023 year.
Yes.
The Emperor's New Groove.
Really?
Really.
The Emperor's New Groove.
Yep.
That is a choice.
And this is shout out to Christy.
Okay.
Shout out to Christy and shout out to our D&D crew. They got me to watch it.
It's a solid flick.
I had never seen it before.
Okay.
And really what this was down to was The Emperor's New Groove or Tarzan, because I realized while putting this list together that I have not watched like nearly enough animated movies. I think it was like
Disney Plus, man.
Well, we don't really watch like a lot. We actually don't watch a lot on Disney Plus, like outside of the shows.
Really?
No.
You should.
Maybe.
There's a whole catalog.
Yeah.
I could set you up with some gems of classic Disney that you can skip the fucking Fox and the Hound. All right.
Yeah, I watch
like, but there's some that are some must sees.
But the movie that I was originally going with was Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers.
Right.
But then I was like, you know what? It's not fully animated, so I'm not going to go with that. And then I was thinking of the other. You mean Tarzan, didn't he? Tarzan didn't do it for me. Well, hang on. I'll get to that in just a second. So there's Chip 'n Dale. There was like the Bob's Burger movie, which I was like, I enjoyed it, but it was really just like an extended episode of Bob's Burger.
Okay.
And then I don't think there was really any other animated movies that we watched. And then within like the last 2 months, we got a group together. We watched The Emperor's New Groove because like it had come up a couple of times during like our D&D sessions. And like two of our friends were just like, oh, like we got to watch it. So like we went over, like we hung out, we watched it. I was like, okay, like I get it. And like I had never seen it before. And I was like, I understand it. I enjoyed it. Like this is good. And then Christy finally got me to watch Tarzan the other night because she was like, that's the soundtrack bops. It goes hard.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But like I will say this about Tarzan. Like have you seen? Yeah, Phil Collins.
Well, Christy, for God's sakes, our goddamn drummer wouldn't fucking shut up about Tarzan every fucking band practice because he loved Phil Collins.
But
you want to cover.
You've seen the movie,
soundtrack,
right?
Of course, I've seen the movie, yeah.
And I don't know if anybody else in the chat has seen the movie or not, but I'm going to spoil basically most of Tarzan now.
I mean, it's a known story.
But like I did not know the brutality that is featured in this movie. Like
the opening song.
Opening is like they killed a baby gorilla within like the first 2 minutes on screen.
And then his parents?
They murdered a baby. And then they murdered those parents.
A fucking jaguar just came in and fucking sniped them bitches.
And then like the dude at the end who gets hung. And they show the shadow of the guy hanging there, and I'm like, this was a fucking kids movie? What?
It's wild, right?
Wild. And it's
they put Rosie O'Donnell in it?
And it's and it's an hour and a half. It is the perfect length. So,
it sure is.
Yeah, it was good, but I think overall the Emperor's New Groove did it for me like just a little bit more.
That's a poll. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with that one. Now this one was tough because my household we're slinging animated movies.
Oh yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Now I got kids. That's all they watch.
Sure.
And there was a new animated movie that I watched this year, which was Turning Red. Which was very, very good. I was surprised at how good it was.
Okay.
But did not take the cake because your boy watched multiple times with the kids in 2022, 2023, possibly the greatest animated movie of all time.
Okay.
Which is a Goofy movie. It is a wonderful flick with a banging soundtrack.
I mean, it's got Powerline.
Which,
by the way, I saw your tweet about turning the rock and roller coaster.
Yes.
Into the Powerline coaster.
Isn't that genius?
That's a genius idea.
It's a genius idea.
That makes all the sense.
Yes.
That makes so much sense. Why have they not done that?
I don't know why, because it's a built-in property.
It is.
They get all the money. They don't have to pay anybody any royalties for it.
Because
the fucking hardcore fans would love it.
Yeah, because is there something that because it's the Aerosmith coaster right now, right?
It's Aerosmith, right? Yeah.
But are they trying
Aerosmith every time?
Are they? I mean, those guys don't need the money anymore.
No, they're almost dead.
Yeah, Johnny Carson's gonna travel back in time and find him.
Shank Steven Tyler.
I love this new trend of like Johnny Carson's just like a time traveling hitman, time traveling assassin.
It's a new conspiracy. I love it.
That is wild.
He is
wild. Okay, but yeah, I mean like that. Solid flick. You can't go wrong with that. That movie's got a little bit of everything. It's got heart. It's got adventure. It's got a kicking soundtrack. It's got a great cast.
It's got shitty kids.
All those kids suck. Shitty kids being shitty for no reason. And you're like, you know what? Like, this is an accurate depiction. I think that's why I didn't like it as a kid when I first saw it. Because I was like, this is just mean. Like, why is he being...
but it's real.
I know. And then I had a lot of like self-reflection. I'm like, am I Max?
Learn something about himself.
Yeah. And because like I also like went and saw it with my dad, and I was just like, this isn't us, is it? Like, we're cool. We're cool, right? I like fishing.
That's right. That's right. We're going fishing.
Yeah.
That's right.
Solid though. Solid choice. Solid choice.
Well,
hard
thank you.
hard
Thank
to
you.
beat a classic. It's really hard to beat a classic like that.
It is hard to beat. There's a lot of that on my list. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
It's hard to beat the classic.
Okay. Just like every movie from here on out is just a goofy movie for you.
Takes a cake.
Pretty much. Okay.
Best
So
supporting actor Max Goof.
Pauly Shore. Okay. So next on the award list, we have best costumes.
Best costumes.
Yeah.
Best costumes. I will say this one. I'm just checking my list. This is the only movie that I saw in 2022 that makes the list for the 2022 Academy Awards list for me. I did talk with the wife, who is a costume / clothing designer, and I was, gave her the list of the movies that we watched, and I was like, "What do you think?" And she narrowed it down to a couple, and I was like, "Okay, that makes sense." So, best costumes goes to Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's a whole town on Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, costumes galore.
Costumes galore. I mean, that you know what? And it's funny you say that because that's very much sort of in the same vein as like why I chose picked my choice.
Okay.
Which is Mystery Men.
Mystery Man.
Because it's an entire city.
Well done.
It's an entire city just filled with superheroes and villains for no real reason other than Russia may have won the Cold War, and there is a communist subplot to that movie that I don't think a lot of people picked up on.
That's true.
Yeah. I forget if we talked about it on the show, like shortly after we watched it, but like when Christy and I went back and like watched that a couple of weeks ago, like there is like some subtleties in that movie that we never noticed before, and I think a lot of that was just due to like the lo-fi nature of watching things on digital cable and VHS.
Well, of course.
But like there's somebody on the parole board wearing a CCC pin with a hammer and sickle. Like
really?
all the money that they're using is like I think it was like old Chinese money. Yeah. There's like go back and watch it and like pay attention to like the background and stuff and just like the little props along the way. Like 90% sure that movie is like an alternate universe where we lost the Cold War.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that one out.
Like so much of it is based on like
atomic
age and nuclear energy. Pretty crazy. All right. So
right on.
Moving on. Next on the list, we have best score / soundtrack. And for me, this was pretty easy, and it goes to a movie that I literally watched last week.
Oh, okay.
Which is Empire Records.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
I don't know what that is.
You've never seen Empire Records?
Oh,
it's such a bad movie, but it is like quintessential like 90s viewing. Like it is very much in the vein of like you're Dazed and Confused. Just like a movie about a group of like people in their late teens, early 20s, just like a day. It's literally a day in the life of this group of people just working at a record store and all these shenanigans happening. And it's
little high fidelity action.
Maybe like not so much that, but like a lot of the storylines you watch them, it's just like these do not connect. Like the storylines and the individual arcs, it's like none of this is necessarily cohesive with one another, but it's just fun to watch because it's got a really cool soundtrack. It's like just quintessential 90s. Like highly recommend it if you've never seen it before. You're going to watch it and you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? And at the end of it, you're just going to go, yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, fun times. Empire Records. Check it out.
Okay,
Damn the man. Save the Empire. That's what I say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that one out. So, mine for the best score / soundtrack is a movie that I watched Maybe 2 months ago, something like that. And I watched it. It's one of my favorite movies. And I only watched it within this time period that we're judging, only because I wanted to show my kids. That was it. That was the only reason why I watched it. And I saw it was free on Amazon Prime.
Nice.
So I was just like, this is free. We have a fucking afternoon. These kids haven't, I got to culture these kids a little bit,
Sure.
which I realized there's a lot of movies that I just assume my kids know that they've never seen.
Bro, you've got to bring them up.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I quoted like the Lord of the Rings the other day, and they're like, I don't know what that is. And I'm like, that's right. I haven't shown you the Lord of the Rings yet.
That's something my dad would do. Is like my brother and I would hit a certain age, and he would just be like, "We're gonna watch Animal House tonight."
Ah, yeah.
And then he'd be like, "Now we're gonna watch Caddyshack, and now we're gonna watch Slapshot."
Right.
And yeah. That's what
Yeah.
you got to do.
So-
You just got to pull them aside and be like, "Tonight we're watching The Big Lebowski."
Yeah, tonight you're getting cultured.
Take notes. Yeah.
So for the best score / soundtrack, making the second appearance here tonight, not from my list, but from yours, we're going with UHF, Weird Al.
Wait. The UHF soundtrack.
The UHF, it is a fucking banging soundtrack.
It is.
It's got The Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota is on there. The Beverly Hillbillies
Yeah.
is on there.
Yeah.
You got it all on UHF. Like, Let Me Be Your Hog, Spatula City.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
It's banger after banger after banger.
Weird was a contender for this. But I decided to go with Empire Records because I felt like that spanned a good time period, whereas like Weird was like just Weird Al. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. The other one, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I was like, sometimes
There's nothing wrong with it.
Sometimes like a little diversity in my music. Go a little.
That's
all over the
bullshit.
place.
Good is good.
Listen, I mean, yeah, good is good, but like when you've got a soundtrack that has Guar and Edwin Collins on it, like solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to continue the music debate
Yes, we are.
with the next one.
Yes, we are.
That's right. And I believe I'm starting this one off. Best use of a song in movie. And I don't think there's any debate. I think there's only when you think of all the movies, and it's only limited because of the time frame that we're sticking to here. I think this one works with any movie that you've ever seen ever
Okay.
in your entire life. The best use of a song in any movie.
Ever?
And I just happened to watch it in this
You
time
just
frame.
happen to watch it.
Is Just Dropped In by Kenny Rogers.
Dude,
In The Big Lebowski.
I knew you were going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes and yes. So this category, dude, we're fucking in sync tonight because when I thought of this category, the first movie I thought of was The Big Lebowski.
Of course.
Because I'm like, you've got, the alternate version of Hotel California. You've got Just Dropped In. Like every song in that.
Looking Out My Back Door, Credence. Solid. Yes.
Just
yes.
like
yes.
every-
I almost wrote that one. And then I'm like, no. It's Kenny Rogers.
The sequence with the Kenny Rogers is golden. But like, and the one thing I love about the way they use the sound, and I know that there's like a technical term for it, but every song in the movie is actually playing in the environment that the characters are in.
Yes.
So whereas like the music like is initially introduced for the audience, it's actually playing in the background of the scene as well. So like the characters are hearing it and like reacting to it as well.
Right.
But yeah, the drops on that movie, phenomenal. Stellar choice. However, for me, this also goes to a movie that was just watched within the last week, and that is Eye of the Tiger and Rocky 3.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But like the intro. It's the intro. It is the intro drop for this song, because you get like the Rocky like overture in the beginning, you know, the big fanfare style music with the scrolling Rocky across the screen, and then just the picture of the title, you know, and then it just kicks into like fireworks, and then in big splash and fireworks, Rocky 3, and then it's just a bam, 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 and you're just like, oh fuck, I am ready for this. Because I told Christy, you know, like, we should watch, you know, the new Creed movies, but to get to Creed, we got to watch the Rocky movies.
Of course,
so
right.
we
it's like trying to do the Marvel fucking movies.
Right,
terrible.
but like we watched Rocky months. Oh, we did watch Rocky. Yeah, we watched Rocky months and months ago. Ended up being way creepier than I remembered it being. We skipped Rocky.
Oh no, it's not great.
It's not great. It's not great. Which is why I always liked Rocky 3, Rocky 2. Rocky 2, nothing happens. Nothing happens in Rocky 2. Like, literally nothing happens in Rocky 2 until the very, like, literally watch the beginning of Rocky 3, which just recaps the most important parts of Rocky 2, which is the fight at the end.
Right.
And then Rocky 3 is like quintessential 80s movie. That is what it's kind of like when Fast and Furious finally became what it needed to be. Rocky 3 is when the Rocky series became what it needed to be. And then it went into Rocky 4. And then Rocky 5 happened, and we were like, what's going on?
No, you should stop at 4.
Yeah, but
like, it wants to be Drago.
Yeah,
like,
but like,
you're not going to get
Eye the Tiger completely resets the tone and the style of that franchise. And then you get like the montage of Rocky just fucking popping people and doing all his like, you know, promotional stuff. And you just got Mr. T just like running down the street, just like shadow boxing, and then just like fucking knocking dudes out in the ring. Oh my God, dude.
No, my favorite moment or my favorite memory of Rocky 3 is. Okay. I turned on, I think it was TNT at the time.
Yeah.
And they were playing Rocky 3.
Yeah. No, they were either playing Rocky 3 or Roadhouse.
Right. So, but they were in between the commercial breaks. They had a panel that were talking about the movie, and the special guest for the panel was Kevin Nash.
Love it.
And he was fucking wasted.
Sure.
Doing the panel on this, and he was just dropping spoilers for what was about to happen next. And he's just like, did Mick die yet? And then, like, the people in the panel just like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
okay, if you hadn't if the first time you watched Rocky 3 was on TNT, I'm sorry, but that's your own fault.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Solid. All right. So, moving on now. We're going into the best director category.
Right.
And this one for me, I'll admit I might be a little bit biased, but I have my reasoning.
So before you give your answer, what goes into the criteria of picking the best director?
For the best director, the one thing that I really looked at was, what did they do with the material? How did they pull it all together? And how did it make me feel?
Okay.
You know? And for me, like I said, I might be a little biased. And actually, something that Patrick Fenton already called out in the chat a little bit earlier this evening.
Oh.
But for me, for best director, I went with Kevin Smith in Clerks 3.
Okay. All right.
This was a movie that I wasn't expecting to have the ride that I went on.
Okay. I still haven't seen it.
Phenomenal. Watched it on the plane coming back from Denmark because I was like, you know what? I haven't watched it yet. It's available. I got to watch it. I've got 8 hours.
Sure.
I'm not going anywhere except for, America. And like, here's the thing. It's very much the type of movie that just redoes a lot of the same bits that the other movies have done. Because you kind of have that, like, there's kind of that process with sequels and trilogies where they're just sort of making the same movie over and over again. This is a movie that just literally remakes the first movie almost beat for beat, but they do it in a way where they acknowledge that they're doing it.
Okay.
And I think it was an interesting approach to that style of story. But overall, I laughed, I cried, I had a great time. It was I was not expecting the journey that I went on, even though
Okay.
I'm a Kevin Smith diehard, and it's like, yeah, he's telling the same heart attack story that he's told on every podcast for the last 5 years. Like, I've heard it
Sure.
before, but you watch it and then it starts to get going, and you're like you kind of forget that you're just watching the same movie again.
Right.
Because
Right.
it feels so familiar and so comfortable, but yet so engaging, because like there's like these new little beats that are like very subtle. Like, and I believe I said this once before. There is a gag that he does throughout the entire movie that was never not funny. Every time the gag happened, I popped out loud, like
Okay.
an out loud laugh. Like, I was
Well,
that
you know
dude
his
on the plane
you know his
giggling to
philosophy,
himself.
right?
What?
He said this famously on either a podcast or one of his specials or whatever. You tell the joke once,
Yeah,
it's funny.
yeah,
You tell the joke twice, it's hilarious.
yeah.
You tell a joke 3 times, genius.
And that's what he does. But yeah, highly recommend it. Patrick, I'm glad you agree. But best director.
Okay.
Good old Kevin
Okay.
Smith.
So I also went with a very well-known director as well. So best director for any of the movies that I watched in 2022 has to go to Barry Sonnenfeld.
Okay.
For obviously his directing talents in the movie Men in Black.
This is wild.
So we watched Men in Black recently. And I don't know if you've ever seen this man's work
I
other
have.
than Men in Black.
Yeah.
He's done Men in Black.
Yep.
He's done Men in Black 2.
He sure has.
He's done Men in Black
He
3.
definitely did.
He's done Wild West.
Yep.
He's got a lot of
Oh, I watched the Men in Black movies too. I forgot. I watched those when I was in Denmark in my hotel.
he did RV with Robin Williams.
And he did the Addams Family movies.
He did a lot, you know. But I will say, so we watched Men in Black recently.
Yeah.
And I was amazed
Sure.
at. So you think about, like, Men in Black is a movie that's based off a comic book.
Yeah.
That he took that.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people
It
forget
reminded me so much of Schumacher that, like, when I'm watching this movie, I'm like, we're in New York City.
That was an era.
Nobody's here.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Like, you're in the middle of a major city and there's nobody there. Yeah.
And
it's just empty.
And it's empty.
Empty.
And we're telling the story of aliens, and we're spending time at the pawn shop.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a great fucking movie. If you're in for, like, just kind of a good time of a world that you really don't fucking understand and really doesn't make any sense, and the dots don't really connect, but like, it's got Will Smith, it's got Tommy Lee Jones, the acting's okay, and like
It does the
the
job.
story's okay,
It gets
and
the point across.
and the special effects are okay.
Yep.
And you're just like, you know what? Okay. And then the movie's over, and you get hit with a brand new fucking Will Smith song. You're like, okay, all right, now we're here. So, kudos to Barry
Right on.
for making the list.
Okay. I mean, took a chance, went with it, made it happen. I always liked that movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a good
it
movie.
Really is.
Like it really is. I can't shit on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it is. Yeah, it's great. All right, now We got a couple categories left. We're getting to the performance. So we've got best performance for a supporting role. Who do you got?
Let's see here. So I saw this movie at the drive-in.
Okay.
It's a movie I've seen probably in triple digits at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably the best supporting actor of all time.
Okay.
I will say.
Okay.
Has to go to Christopher Lloyd in Back to the Future.
Okay.
He may be the best supporting actor to Michael J. Fox of all time.
I'm surprised. Like, I'm surprised, but not surprised. Okay. Yeah. I can't argue with that. I went with another movie that I just watched within the last week.
Okay.
I went with Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost.
Okay. All right.
It just stood out to me. And I actually think she won an award for that too.
She did, I believe so. I mean, let's be honest. Like, Whoopi in her prime was fucking unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like, The Color Purple, Sister Act, Ghost. Like,
not that. Like,
there was a period of time where she was printing money.
Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah. She had all that money in the movie that she had to give away. But so this is a fun story too. So I had never seen Ghost. And we're going a little, yeah. Chrissy says, I'm glad you're enjoying all these movies she's making me watch. Like, because, yeah, a bunch of the movies on this list were movies that she made me watch. We went to a VHS swap the other day.
As you do.
As you do. It was last Friday. I'm actually going to grab it right.
Okay. Blakely in the chat says that Sister Act was her favorite.
We're at the VHS swap. And, we're going around the tables, just checking out what they've got, as you do. And Christy picks up Ghost. And then she's like, it's Ghost. And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, oh, it's a white tape. Which apparently is like and she's also the hyena in Lion King, too. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
But Christy was like, it's a white tape. And I was like, yeah. She's like, that's cool. And I was like, I guess. And like, I guess it's a rare tape. I guess like this is not the standard.
Okay.
And so
Does it glow in the dark?
It doesn't glow in the dark. No, unfortunately it doesn't.
Well, that's bullshit.
Which also like look at that cover. Like they're just banging.
Okay.
Like right on there. And like we're kind of walking away from the table because like we're trying to get a lay of the land first, and she's like, I kind of want that, and I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah. She's like, I love Ghost, and I was like, you love Ghost? She's like, I talk about it all. She's like, I talk about it all the time.
Why do you think she's into pottery?
And yo, they made a dick in that movie. But I'm like, when have you ever talked about Ghost? She's like, literally all the time. She's like, it's like basically one of my favorite movies. And I'm like, I have never once heard you speak of this movie before. And she's like, literally all the time. And I'm like, I don't believe you. And she's like, I always make that reference about Whoopi Goldberg having to give the check away.
She's always playing Whitney Houston.
So like we eventually go around and like, I grab some tapes from one table vendor. And like we're kind of getting ready to leave, so like we stop back over at this other table, and like we grab a bunch, including Ghost, and then we ended up watching it that night. I had never seen it before. It's a great movie.
It's a good movie.
Like legit. Like I'm watching it, and like I'm expecting this like early like '90s cheesy, just dumb movie, and the entire time I'm like, this is great. Like I'm enthralled.
Having a good time.
And then like it's fucking brutal at the end. Like yeah, but Whoopi Goldberg crushes in that movie. Great job.
Wow. Would not have expected that from you.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's Christy, but like
I was
still
inspired.
wouldn't have expected it.
I was
Okay,
inspired.
well, that's great.
But like
Well
also
done.
like going through the rest of the movies that I have on my list, I'm like, there's really nothing else that stands out. Like I
Pretty
could
much.
go with an Avengers movie, but like how do you how do you pick a person? And then like some of these other movies I'm just like I mean like I feel like I'm like just grasping for straws at that point.
Sure.
But okay, we've got 2 more now. For
That's right.
and I'll go with this one. For best performance lead, a newer movie, a movie that actually came out last year,
Okay.
movie that we've already referenced. Not a movie on the lists though. But I chose. Actually, hang on, wait, what just happened?
Oh,
Nope, we're good. Nope, we're good. But I went with Michelle Yeoh and Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
I have no idea what that is or who that is.
Watch the movie. Just watch the movie.
Okay.
Just watch the movie. Get cozy. Get in the right headspace.
Oh, okay. It's a headspace movie. Okay.
It is a multiverse movie
Okay.
that is just wild.
Do I need to watch something else before I watch this movie?
No.
Okay, it's
No,
a
no,
one
no.
shot.
It's a one shot. It's a one and done.
Okay.
It's a one and
Okay.
done, and it's great. And it's got like it gets deep. Oh yeah.
Going completely blind.
Going completely blind. It's okay to
All
know
right.
that there's some multiverse shenanigans, but like beyond that, like, because like I mean that's how they promoted the goddamn thing. Phenomenal movie. She does a great job. All around great cast. All around great cast. I won't even tell you what I want to tell you right now.
Okay.
But like anybody who, yeah, great movie. Check it out. Yeah.
All right.
Check it
There you
out. Okay. Now, best picture.
go. Oh, do I get a vote? Do I get to vote?
Oh
for
wait,
the-
you
for
didn't
the-
go.
for
Oh
the
my
winner?
god, I'm so sorry.
Son of a
I'm
bitch.
just so excited.
I mean, I know we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
We're trying to get through this.
That's okay. We
but-
still got AI we got to do.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah,
we're
we
going
still
a
gotta do
long
AI.
time. But so again, we started watching movies that I assumed my kids knew, and then realized that they didn't know because they're like 6 and 10.
Right.
So, one of the things we did start watching were well, I'll just say it first, and then I'll do my explanation.
Okay.
So, best performance as a lead that I watched last year, and I went down my whole list, and there was only one that stood out, and I'm just like, this movie doesn't exist without this person as the lead. And that is Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man.
Oh, okay. Solid.
Yeah, like that movie is nothing without him.
It's really not.
As Tony Stark in that movie. Like Jeff Bridges does a decent job as a villain, but even as a villain, I'm just like, it's still the dude.
It's
so
still
like,
the dude. It's they did a good job making him not look like Jeff Bridges,
yes.
Yeah. But like every now and then I kind of like hear it come out. Like he's got that voice. Like even when he's angry, I'm just like, is today a weekday?
And the thing is too, like so we realized the kids have not really, like, they've seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
But they really haven't seen any of the Marvel movies, and
Sure.
the boys starting to get into Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, man, we got a long way to go before we can get to Spider-Man. We need to start now, before we can even get close to Spider-Man. So we put on Iron Man, and we're watching this movie, and I'm rewatching it probably since I saw it in theaters.
Right.
And I'm just like, holy fuck,
It's
this is a great
good.
fucking movie.
They didn't have a script.
They did not have a script.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
They did not have a script for that movie.
Oh.
Like the majority of that movie, at the very least, the majority of Robert Downey Jr.'s lines are so when you say that movie would not exist without him, it literally wouldn't, because he was the character.
Oh yeah.
Like that was him and Jon Favreau like figuring it out on the day. Going in and just
That's
going like,
wild.
Just play to it.
Well, not.
But
Well,
like
it's funny too.
I was gonna say, well, like Jeff Bridges has come out and specifically said that he had a difficult time working on that movie specifically because he didn't know what was going on half the time.
That makes sense.
He was just like, he's like, there's no script, but like we're doing something.
And the wild thing is, you hear that, and then you're just like, the money they spent. It was just raining money on this, because you look at the effects, you look at the explosions, you look at all that shit.
I really think what works with that movie is the direction and the lead. Because if you have just like you're kind of run-of-the-mill director and just like another, if you have a Ben Affleck type as the lead, or even like a Tom Cruise type as the lead, that movie doesn't work.
No.
It might work. It could work, but it doesn't work. Like, you're going to have another early 2000s superhero movie at that point. That's what you're going to get. You're not going to get a movie that took off like it did and created a boom of a franchise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The what comes after this movie is so huge that, and it all starts with one man. That's why I picked him.
Also, start the boy with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
I just remembered that.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking about it in the car today. I'm just like, oh wait, no, I've got fucking Spider-Man movies I could watch. I could show him. Like, granted, we're gonna skip past the weird emo dancing thing, but like besides that, like the first one's okay.
He could watch the first two at least.
Yeah,
and because they come back around.
They do. He'll have to see them eventually.
Because like later on when he's watching stuff, he's gonna be like, wait, why is there? Never mind. Okay.
Why is there another one?
Moving on to Best Picture.
This is it. This is a tip top.
This is the big one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What do you got? What do you got for us, man?
Okay. So, Best Picture, and it is the Best Picture. Like, there's a lot of movies I didn't watch.
Sure.
In 2022. So you have to understand, I'm picking from a sample size Best Picture. But when I say I watched the Best Picture, like, it's in my top 3 of all time, every time. So the Best Picture I watched in the past year, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It is still one of the greatest movies ever made.
I'm not going to dispute that.
It has everything. It has humor, comedy. It's got a guy with a drinking problem because dealing with grief. It's got a woman who's trying to bring her man back from the brink and still trying to hold it together.
Yeah.
And then you've got a murder mystery on top of that, and with fucking everything, with two fucking worlds coming together of the Warner Brothers and the Disney company working together only because Steven Spielberg gives a fuck. And it is just a fucking masterpiece of cinema.
I got no argument.
Goddamn right you don't.
And then so for my movie, for Best Picture of the year, again, going with a movie that actually came out last year. Once again, we are talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once.
All right, so highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like looking at my list and a list of movies that also include.
On Tubi?
It's not on Tubi.
We're gonna watch this movie.
It might be on. I don't know. It might be on like HBO Max. But like in a list of movies that also include like Ambulance and Day Shift and Death on the Nile, it wasn't that difficult. It was literally a matter of personal preference movies versus a movie I truly believed was like the best movie of the year.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
that is what I'm going with for Best Picture. Hopefully it actually wins in the Best Picture Awards this Sunday.
Look at you.
If it doesn't, what are we doing? Because I am a believer in just over the top weirdness in film. Give us
Okay.
more. Let's do it.
Yep. That's all you need.
That's all you
right?
need. That's all you need. Okay. Do we have a
did
few
it.
minutes to do an acceptance speech AI style?
Let's do it.
Okay. What award? What do we want to take? Do we want to take best picture?
Christy, I already forgot Ambulance happened.
Yo, I try to.
Yeah, let's do a best picture, and then let's also do let's ask AI the best picture of 2022 is, and just see what happens.
Oh, like just say, and the best picture for 2022 goes to.
And see what we'll start there, and then we'll circle
okay,
back.
so here's what I'm typing. I'm saying, and the best. I'm gonna say movie because I feel like if I write picture, it's gonna think that we're talking about like a picture,
like an image.
Yeah.
Like
and
a
the
meme.
best, and the and the award. I'll say, and the Academy Award.
There you go.
Award for best movie of 2022 goes to, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna generate text. Okay. That's. I think we broke it.
Oh boy.
I think we broke it. Okay.
Okay. Well, Bergman in the chat says that it's streaming on Paramount Plus or Showtime, and that is the right call. Okay. Well, maybe I'll have to get an email address or something.
There you go. I don't know if we can do this prompt because it says, and the Academy Award for Best Movie of 2022 goes to, and then it just lists a bunch of movies.
Wow.
Well, The Passage, Batman, Wanderlust, Cranium Castle, A Night in the Museum, Good Night, Sex Education, Planet of the Apes, Last Frontier, Harry Potter 8, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, Altered Carbon, Sharp Objects, The Winds of Winter, An Evening with Beverly Loughlin, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Patton.
Okay. That didn't work.
That didn't work. Let's try this. Let me try one more. Let's see. Wait, hang on. It's doing something. It's doing something. It's doing a thing. It is doing a very specific thing. I'm going to hit it once more. Okay. Apparently, at this award show, somebody rushed the stage, grabbed the microphone, and then this happened. And the Academy Award for Best Movie of 2022 goes to, okay, that's enough of the emojis. Look at this shit, people. I want it to become a thing. The weird, sentimental thing we are all thinking about will become a thing. Remember when Eminem had that album where he covered Radiohead songs? It was called The Eminem Show. The title track was called Creep. He used to actually rhyme in his rap songs in the mid-2000s. I wanted this too. If you wanted it to become a thing, you'd have to try harder and start it earlier. Listen to me. Listen closely. The movie people will come to the same conclusion. The movie people will come to the same conclusion you have. The most basic and obvious way to keep a movie going is to pay for more time. If you're making a $50 million movie and you have a $25 million budget, then you're looking at a $20 million loss every 5 days. So you're down to about $12 million per week, and a film like Wonder Woman will gross around $450 million in the end. That's not much more than Transformers 4 made. You need $2 million a week. You make that, and you can run the whole film for 5 months. You don't need a trailer. You can go straight to the end. Do you want more time? Do you want to pay? No, I didn't think so.
Jada Smith's going in a weird direction. That's all I have to say.
I think that does it.
I think that's it. Yes, we do need to watch Mr. Doubtfire. That's a good call.
It's a great movie. I think that does it for us.
Yes. So if you want to tell us what you think will win the Best Picture Academy Award this weekend, please do so in the chat, or you can send us an email over at brainwreckshow@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And folks, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Because listen, we do this show each and every single Wednesday night right here on youtube.com/brainwrecktv. We come to you live each and every Thursday night, so that'll be next week. We do the internet's favorite game show, which is Don't Be an Asshole. It's the show where we like to read Am I the Asshole stories from Reddit, the original Am I the Asshole story reading show here on YouTube.
Goddamn right.
We're on the rise. Tune in each and every other week as we read more stories and try to crown ourselves a new royal asshole. I've got some streams coming up that I got to do before it gets too late and I forget about it. You've got some vlogs and some streams you were doing for Disney recently.
Tron. Yeah, we just did the Tron Light Cycle Run.
A lot of fun. Go check those out. Folks, important news. We have a merch store.
We do.
We have a merch store. Wait, let's see if this actually works. Is it going to work? It's going to work. Yeah, it kind of worked. It sort of worked. But if you go to tpublic.com/user/brainwrecktv, you can check out all these cool little designs we got. I added one over the weekend that I had to do some editing on. I bought everything we have in the store, and it's coming in soon. We sold a bunch. We sold 16 of these shirts. That's insane. We've already sold 5 of those. At least one of them is from... People love the communication shirt. Be sure to get it.
They love the communication shirt.
So be sure to head on over to TeePublic. Look us up. Buy a shirt. Get it printed as a sticker or a magnet. Put it on your refrigerator. Yes, you do have a merch store. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
And yeah,
we also have a sponsor, too.
We also have a sponsor. We have a sponsor. SpecificHonks.com. Go to SpecificHonks.com and get yourself a specific honkin' bumper magnet. If you like movies like The Mummy, if the movie Final Destination 2 it just makes you crap your pants every time you hit the highways and see an oversized truck, head over to SpecificHonks.com, pick yourself up a bumper magnet, slap that motherfucker on the back of your car, but be sure that you used code BrainWreckTV15 at checkout to save yourself 15% off your next honkin' magnet. You can hit the link down below in our description, and it should apply that code for you automatically. Specific Honks.
Also, Specific Honks is not responsible for any honking fines that you may receive in the New York City area for honking.
Oh, yeah. They're not responsible for that.
So they
neither are we. Honk responsibly, folks.
Please.
For
God's sake. We want to see you here next week.
Exactly.
So anyway, for this week, I've been Jason X.
I'm Kevin Graham.
And it's been your show.
Peace.